Namo Buddhaya friends. Welcome to your favorite channel Manashanti, and we are reading an awesome book. Name is What the Buddha Taught, written by Volpula Rahula. Then let's start. According to the Buddha's teaching, the beginning of the life stream of living beings is unthinkable. The believer in the creation of life by God may be astonished at this reply. But if you were to ask him, what is the beginning of God? He would answer without hesitation, God has no beginning. And he is not astonished at his own reply. The Buddha says, O bhikkhus, this cycle of continuity is without a visible end, and the first beginning of being wandering and running round, enveloped in ignorance, means avidya, and bound down by the fetters of thirst, means desire or tanna, is not to be perceived. And further referring to ignorance, which is the main cause of the continuity of life, the Buddha states, the first beginning of ignorance, means avidya, is not to be perceived in such a way as to postulate that there was no ignorance beyond a certain point. Thus, it is not possible to say that there was no life beyond a certain definite point. This, in short, is the meaning of the noble truth of dukkha. It is extremely important to understand this first noble truth clearly, because as the Buddha says, he who sees dukkha sees also the arising of dukkha, sees also the cessation of dukkha, and sees also the path leading to the cessation of dukkha. This does not at all make the life of a Buddhist melancholy or sorrowful, as some people wrongly imagine. On the contrary, a true Buddhist is the happiest of beings. He has no fear or anxieties. He is always calm and serene, and cannot be upset or dismayed by changes or calamities, because he sees things as they are. The Buddha was never melancholy or gloomy. He was described by his contemporaries as ever smiling. In Buddhist painting and sculpture, the Buddha is always represented with a countenance happy, serene, contented, and compassionate. Never a trace of suffering or agony or pain is to be seen. Buddhist art and architecture, Buddhist temples, never give the impression of gloom or sorrow, but produce an atmosphere of calm and serene joy. Although there is suffering in life, a Buddhist should not be gloomy over it, should not be angry or impatient at it. One of the principal evils in life, according to Buddhism, is repugnance or hatred. Repugnance is explained as ill will with regard to living beings, with regard to suffering, and with regard to things pertaining to suffering. Its function is to produce a basis for unhappy states and bad conduct. Thus, it is wrong to be impatient at suffering. Being impatient at or angry at suffering does not remove it. On the contrary, it adds a little more to one's trouble and aggravate and exacerbate a situation already disagreeable. What is necessary is to what is necessary is not anger or impatience, but the understanding of the question of suffering, how it comes about, and how to get rid of it, and then to work accordingly with patience, intelligence, determination, and energy. There are two ancient Buddhist texts called the Theragatha and Therigatha, which are full of the joyful utterance of the Buddha's disciples, both male and female, who found peace and happiness in life through his teaching. The king of Kosala once told the Buddha that unlike many a disciple of other religious systems who looked haggard, coarse, pale, emaciated, and unprepossessing, his disciples were joyful and elated, jubilant and exultant, enjoying the spiritual life with faculties pleased, free from anxiety, serene, peaceful, and living with a gazelle's mind that is light-hearted. The king added that he believed that this healthy disposition was due to the fact that these venerable ones had certainly realized the great and full significance of the Blessed One's teaching. Buddhism is quite opposed to the melancholic, sorrowful, patient, and gloomy attitude of mind, which is considered a hindrance to the realization of truth. On the other hand, it is interesting to remember here that joy is one of the seven bojjhangas or factors of enlightenment, the essential qualities to be cultivated for the realization of nirvana. Friends, we will stop reading today here. Please like, share, and subscribe the channel. Thank you.